scene, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we brought in the cavalry? What if we made up the word, the cavalry? And most of it was, whether it was Chris or Henry or, I'll let Ryan talk about a few of the others, but it really was so much, again, to the young people, like this business can be so stacked with hurdles and gatekeepers and obstacles. And in our experience, just reach out to the other human being. And maybe it'll be a no. Okay, it'll be a no, but at least they're going to get the spirit of the ask directly from you. So we did a lot of that.
It's not like it's just, they're not just walking through. You give everyone something very,
you can't, I mean, those particular ones, people call them cameos, I think of them more as supporting roles because they have arcs and they have a reason for being there. Cavalrine is a cameo. That's a cameo for sure. Shameless cameo, but he's beautiful. The other ones, that's a great. We're sort of in this business. If you're lucky enough to have an agent and have all that stuff, we tend to sort of believe that every communication we have to have is to go via them, and then everything changes if you start connecting with people and you're accessible and accountable. So we just called. I mean, Chris Evans, he's a friend, so I called. We wrote him the sequence, and then I quickly wrote that tag at the very end of the movie. At first, it's just like I just need to give him something more than just this, And
you wrote that in like 10 minutes.
Yes, it was dark. It was like when you do something you're proud of, but you're also like so ashamed. That was that. But so I sent it to Chris as well, but more as bait, like to just bait him into this, and he sort of read it out loud a little bit, and it was great. Like he's so fast with it, I couldn't, it was like color I hadn't seen of his. And then he said, I'll do it as long as this tag stays in the movie. I was like, right, done. And then, Jen, we were working with on the Adam project, and she's, we sort of thought of it at that point, if she would want to do it. And the big one for me was Wesley Snipes. Obviously, Channing Tatum too, but
I think you said before, they got to do a little bit of redemption.
Which was a central theme, right? The themes of the movie are largely centered on legacy and redemption. And we talked a lot about Blade and Wesley as Blade, and how are people given an ending? How are people cemented in a legacy? And Blade was really kind of a juicy idea.
So some of it is like you're always using what's there instead of like I wish people really wanted this because I want to make it. Instead, you like look at kind of you read you acknowledge and play with the cultural landscape, and like we know Channing had worked for 10 years. I can relate to that for Deadpool, but he worked for 10 years trying to get the Gambit movie made. And I know how frustrating that could be. So that was a wish fulfillment in and of itself. And Wesley, I worked with him 20 plus years ago. I mean, it was a weird moment to call him out of the blue. I think he was like, what? But his arc particularly, that moment where he breaks the plane of our frame and enters, we sat in Hall H at Comic-Con with 6,000 people in that moment. And to me, it's like it speaks to one of the themes of the movie, redemption. But sometimes there's a certain brand or color of redemption, which is, when people are missing someone so much, but the key is they don't know they miss them. So the moment he breaks that plane, the sound that came out of people, the feeling in that room, which is why the theatrical experience has always been and will always be one of the great central locus points of entertainment, because we're all feeling it together, and there's nothing better. It's collective effervescence. Everyone gets to feel the same thing at the same time. But Wesley that was one of the greatest moments I've had in my entire career. I know you guys felt the same way. Wesley was there and he was watching that reaction as well, and he said to Shawn, I think he said, I'm really glad that my kids were here to see that. And it was just this moment, because he's a movie star, he's beautiful, and he's so good, and so that really to me just felt like this full circle moment, because I forever wish they'd do like a Logan style send off for Blade, and then still have your Mahershala Ali version that would come after, but it's a big pond,
And what about Daphne Keane, who played X-23 in Logan? Amazing. That scene by the campfire, it's kind of what you were saying. You don't even know that you miss them, but to see those two characters together and to see her back from an 11-year-old, now a 19-year-old, now a woman, a young woman, it was just, I don't know, there was so many, what they handled as writers was, everything was in service to the story, and every character, I can say this for me, for my character, but every actor felt that as much care, if not more care, was given to their characters than your own, you know.